Welcome to Reset Today with Stephanie J. You just tuned into the show that allows you to reset in any area of your life. So come on and join me. Hit that reset bell and get ready to start fresh. All right, that's my bell. I'm ready. What about you? Do you have your device? Do you have your bell? Do you have your timer? Do you have something within your grasp that can just serve as a reminder that it is okay to restart again? Last episode, I gave you the definition for reset, and it simply just means to set again or anew. To set, adjust, or fix in a new or a different way. And sometimes we just need to do that. May not always be something major. Right now, I'm resetting with furniture in my home. Much needed changes. During and coming through COVID, I had a lot of time to look around, spending more time at home and indoors, and I realized, I like to change up some color themes, and I'd like to just get rid of some items and just start fresh. I wanted a reset in my home, and for the past few months, I have been doing that, and I'm feeling good. So change is good. Change can really be good for us. It also means to make a change to a routine, behavior, or habit. So that's what we're talking about in this show. I am not going to be before you long. As I said in the first episode, the introduction, I'm here like your little cheerleader on the sideline, cheering you on as you're in the game. And I want you to be encouraged. That is my focus. That is my aim. That is why I am taking time out of my schedule, out of my day, to sit in front of the microphone and podcast. Because I want to motivate and inspire you. And I want to let you know that I too have needed to reset. And not just once, not just twice, many times in my life. I don't mind sharing, as I do with my audience on Anchor and Breaker, Spotify, many platforms. I have another podcast, A Brand New Day with Stephanie J. And I have shared on many of those episodes. I am very close to a half a century. That means that I will be the big 5-0 in a few months. And I think that deserved a round of applause. I am very grateful to be alive. And I also shared in that introduction that my mother died back in 1997, and she was a young, almost 42. 2 weeks later, she would have celebrated her 42nd birthday. And my brother was only 19, and so I do count it a privilege to be alive, to be well, and approaching 50, and I have no reservations about it. I am not apprehensive. I am not anxious about it. I am embracing it, and I am excited. And I hope that you can say the same about your life, whatever age you may be, whatever stage of life you may be in. Maybe everything is not great. Maybe things are actually horrible in your life. Well, if you're listening to my voice, then I'm at least glad that you're listening to me, because hopefully something that I share can help you. That's why I'm doing this. If I didn't think that that was possible, I wouldn't even waste my time coming up here, signing on, plugging up my computer. Well, I have to plug it up to sign on, signing on, setting everything up to sit here and talk with you. So I really do believe that something that I have been through can help someone on their journey. So that's what this whole reset idea is about. Many times we are made to feel ashamed or feel less than if we don't have everything in place, if we're not flossing. Do people even use that word anymore? I had a girlfriend who used to say that all the time, for everything. I don't know. I haven't heard it lately, but it just came to me. But anyway, we're taught to look at everything and everyone around us. And if you do that, what it does, it sets you up for comparison. Or perhaps you had someone in your life, someone in your past, someone in your childhood. Perhaps it was, a parent or a teacher or a neighbor or a sibling, or who knows, comparing you with others. I don't know how it happened, but sometimes we grow up with these false insecurities that we're not enough, we're not good enough, and that's just simply not true. I am a licensed evangelist, and so you will probably hear me mention scripture verses or something related to the Bible from time to time. I do it often in A Brand New Day with Stephanie J. And if you even desire to hear what that show is about, I think I'm currently on about the 77th episode, but I have a lot of episodes in there, longer than what these episodes will be, but you can find that on Anchor, Spreaker, Spotify, Breaker, Apple, Google, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, Radio Public, Overcast, Pocket Cast, quite a few places. So I deal with a lot of issues on that show. On this one, I'm trying to keep it simple, just trying to mellow it out some and just keep them, starting out, I'll probably keep the episodes around 15 minutes. And I think that's just enough to kind of say what's on my mind, and we'll just deal with it from that point. But what I want you to get in your mind is that image and that vision. I don't know if this was a happy place for you. I had a mixture of happiness and sadness coming through elementary, middle, and high school. There was a lot of peer pressure. I grew up in a neighborhood where, just a lot of dysfunction. I can remember some of the friends that I had, and I can remember especially girls that didn't like me just because I had long hair and, I was cute. I'm still cute, thank God. I always had a lot of conflict growing up, just for silly stuff. I just never got that. I just never got what was the big deal about long hair. I remember talking about cheerleading. When I was a cheerleader, I can remember girls from other schools coming, and we would do our little routines and stuff. And I can remember on 2 different occasions, 2 different girls wanted to fight me because I could do a split down to the floor, and because I had long hair and stuff like that. I can remember that stuff, and it's like, wow, that was just crazy. But life goes on, and you deal with issues in your childhood that you wake up one day as an adult and you realize that you are still dealing with situations that you thought you were through with, or you thought you were over. And sometimes you find out that that is just not the case. And for whatever reason, it may be your fault. It may not be. It may have been your choices. A lot of times it is our choices, however you want to look at it, that land us in places and situations that we do not necessarily want or need to be. Some people have downright made a mess of their lives, and some of them have had help through vices, and sometimes there were people who helped get people on these paths. And these are issues. I don't want to get too deep into this stuff right now. Little by little I will, but I thank God I never had those issues to deal with. I did not do the party scene. I grew up in the church, and so I didn't choose that path because I watched my parents do it, and many loved ones and neighbors and even young friends coming up in school. I did not like anything about that lifestyle. I did not think it was fun. I could not stand the smell of beer and cigarettes, and I hated that stale smell when I would open up our door sometimes after my parents would have company over on the weekends and things. So I totally veered way away from that type of path. So that just wasn't me, and I am not downing or knocking anyone if that was your choice. I think many people find that once you've gone down that road, and some people get sucked into it so deeply that it just consumes them. I did a podcast episode about my Mexican neighbor who smokes religiously, and I watch him because my backyard is facing their backyard, and so he and his wife, since they moved here a few years ago, they're always in the backyard, and he comes out to smoke. And my goodness, I mean, from 7 o'clock in the morning to wee hours in the night, and then sometimes I'll get up and look out the window at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and he's stepping out to smoke a cigarette. And I'm like, wow, that is crazy. That's when you need to hit that reset bell, start over, start fresh, because that is just not a good habit to have. I just never understood why people would knowingly do things to their bodies and their minds. I just don't get all of that. But anyway, if that is you, as I am about to close this out, I want you to know that it is not too late. If you are hearing my voice, then you still have time. If you're here, you still have time. And you can, listen to this, you can choose to make a different choice. You can choose to stop. You can choose to walk away. You can choose to begin again. And if you are in that situation, I want you to be bold and courageous. I don't want you to be fearful or shameful or think that because you're doing it differently or because it didn't work out like it did for so and so, and maybe your life doesn't look like the happy life that your siblings have or your family. Maybe everybody in a family has it going on. Maybe you're labeled the black sheep of the family. So what? Who cares what they think? Who really cares? It is your life. I want you to take ownership. I want you to wake up today, wherever you are, and I want you to grab your device, grab that bell. I want you to go ahead and hit that reset. And I want you to hold that thought, marinate, meditate on it, and we'll talk about it again soon. Thank you so much for joining me.